Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to dive right into my July favorites. I have some skincare, some body care, a lot of makeup, and of course, I feel like I should do a separate video just for my lip faves, but we'll get into it. Thank you for watching today, and thank you for being subscribed. My first favorite is from Treehead. It's their Tropic Glow. It's a firming body butter, and smells identical to the Boom Boom Cream from Sol de Janeiro. You're getting, I think it's a little more than 8 ounces. It's 8.4 ounces in here. 8 ounces of the Boom Boom Cream from Sol de Janeiro is $45. Now, I love it so much, I have continued to buy it over the years. I always try and get like their biggie Boom Boom Cream, which has like, I don't know, 16 plus ounces in it, almost 17 ounces at the holidays, but it's so expensive. I really have to feel like I'm indulging myself to give myself permission to do that. And I find that there are not a lot of body hydration products that either I like the scent of, I like the feel of on my skin, that I'm willing to use. And so when I find something that I like, I buy it even if it's more expensive. I did a side-by-side comparison, and I'll tell you, I noticed that they smelled identical. The Boom Boom Cream is slightly stronger in fragrance. I also feel like the Boom Boom Cream absorbs, like if we're gonna say it absorbs all the way 100%, I feel like this one absorbs like 85 to 90%, where I do sometimes feel like there's a little bit left on my skin. I did do like half one side, half the other one day, and I noticed at the end of the day, both sides felt very hydrated. Both sides felt soft. Both sides looked more supple than when I don't hydrate my skin and I look kind of aged and craggly. But the one thing I did notice that at the end of the day, on the Tree Hut side, if I did kind of rub my hand over it like really firmly several times, I did get a little bit of product pilling up. Now, unless you're constantly like wiping at yourself, I don't know that that's gonna be a problem. It's also possible that I over applied, but I tried to apply the same amount on both sides. I didn't find that that happened with the Boom Boom Cream. So I feel like overall the Boom Boom Cream is just slightly more cosmetically elegant, but it's $45 for 8 ounces. This is $8.99. $8.99! Less than a quarter of the price. It's really, I feel like it's a really good trade-off. I feel like they're probably about 85% similar, very similar. Hydration is good, all of that. The one thing is the other one is slightly more fragranced, and I feel like it absorbs like maybe 15% better into my skin than this does. There are such small differences for the price. This is what I'm going to continue to buy. Another hydration product that I have been loving is this. This is the new Triple Hyaluronic Acid Elastic Lifting Eye Serum. Like, how long is this title? From Beauty Pie. So I got this probably 2 weeks ago and I have been using it day and night. It's a very lightweight serum. It's nice, it's hydrating. My favorite part though is I feel like in the last couple of weeks that whatever eye cream I was using was good, but this is giving it that extra little bit, and I feel like my under eyes are slightly, I mean ever so slightly, less crepey. And enough that I'm noticing it, not enough that it's like miraculous difference, but it's enough that it's worth it to me to do it. This is one of the first things that goes down in my under eye area, and it has made a big difference. It's also safe to put on your eyelid. I have fallen in love with this sunscreen. I'm still looking for like my perfect sunscreen. I have tried 3 since I found out my favorite Korean sunscreen was not actually giving me SPF 50 like the tube said. This is only SPF 40, but the reason that I love this, the other 2 that I've tried are so thin and liquidy that as I squeeze them into my hand and then later apply them to my face, if I get them too close, like if I even get it slightly below my eyebrow, sometimes the warmth of my skin, the product will start to trail down and it'll get into my eye. If I get it too close underneath here and I, heaven forbid, get it close to my tear duct or to the corner of my eye, it kind of creeps in anyway. It's like lipstick that kind of bleeds out in those little lines around your mouth. I feel like the sunscreen is taking one of those little lines and going straight to my eyeball, and my eyeball burns. And not just for like 10 or 15 minutes or even an hour, it burns for the rest of the day. I don't like that. This doesn't do that. This is definitely a slightly tinted sunscreen. It also has a beautiful glow to it. You can see the tint to it. I mean, if you rub it in better, there's less tint, but on me, I always notice like where the product ends and where it begins. I definitely see that line of demarcation on my face, on my ears, and down my neck. If I don't get it like all the way over here and my shirt like comes a little bit wider, my dress shifts or something, I can see where I have sunscreen and where I don't because it is tinted. But for most people, this is not going to be a problem. It's hydrating enough that it is kind of like, I don't always, and especially in the summertime, I don't feel like I need to wear a layer of hydration. I can wear just this after all of my serums and it's great. The only downside for me, I wish it was SPF 50. It's SPF 40, which is better than 30, but that would make it perfect for me. I really do like this, and I have had compliments on my skin like being so glowy and beautiful on days when I'm wearing just my sunscreen from lots of people. Of course, the best sunscreen is the one you're gonna wear, so this is the one that I reach for. Plays well with makeup, looks good on its own. It's hydrating. There's a lot of good things about it. I'm still on the hunt for a beautiful sunscreen. If you know of one, let me know in the comments down below. I have been using the Instant Age Rewind so much this month. I picked this up, I think in like June, and I'm already, I think like a quarter, maybe even a third of the way through. I've been using this a lot. I swipe it on underneath the eye, on my hyperpigmentation spot, corners of the nose for redness, and then any other places I have like some post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation from blemishes or darker hyperpigmentation spots from the sun, and I just like lightly tap it in with my fingers and I get just a slightly perfected makeup that's not full foundation, and I love. Another product I have been loving is this one from Beauty Pie. This is their Superluminous Genius Under Eye Corrector. I have the shade Light Medium. What I like about this product, even though it is emollient, it is a little bit more hydrating than the one that I love from Charlotte Tilbury. It's definitely more hydrating than some of the other ones that I have tried. It doesn't tend to settle into my fine lines and crinkles under my eyes. It does cancel out the darkness I have here, and even like in this inner corner right here. I feel like it does a really, really good job. If you're a Beauty Pie member, it's definitely worth checking out because it's not that expensive. I think it's less than $10 for this, and it's probably one of the best correctors I've tried in recent memory. So after I have my corrector and my concealer on, if I want just a little bit more coverage, I've been reaching for the Laura Geller Baked Balance and Brighten. This is the lightest shade in Porcelain. You get a multitude of shades in here that you can swirl together. I have been using a more dense buffing brush like this. I'll just rub it in here and go over like my cheeks, corners of my nose, over the top of my nose. It takes down some of the shine from the concealer and the skincare that I have on my skin, but it's not so much that it makes me look like a matte porcelain doll, and maybe I'm being light-handed with it, but what I like is that over the course of the day, since it is summer and I do get a little bit perspiry, should I say dewy instead, but you know, a little sweaty, and I feel like the oils in my skin are coming to the surface. This looks luminous and beautiful. It is definitely balancing in my skin tone. It is definitely giving me a more polished look, but it never looks too powdery. I can't believe that I've had this sitting in my collection and I haven't been using it until just this month. And I'm like, you know what? And I've made kind of a significant little dip in here. I love this product. It's been used a lot, and I'm probably going to continue to use it because it's super fast, super easy, and I really don't have to pay that much attention as I'm swirling and buffing it on. I did mention last month that I have been loving the Lisa Eldridge Enlivening Blushes. This is the shade Dante's Dream. This is my favorite, most used shade. I've been using it a lot this month. It's gorge. I just can't believe how pretty it is and how easy it blends. Like, it really does just blend out to perfection. I do have 3 shades. This is the one that I reach for the most. I do love them all, but this one is like my favorite. I also mentioned, I think last month, that I have been loving the Pat McGrath blush and highlight that came in the Divine Blush collection. Let me tell you, this shade right here in Nude Venus is so beautiful. It's slightly satin, so that as you're putting it on, it's not a flat color. You don't need a ton of it to get pigmentation, but if you want something that's more pigmented, you can layer it on beautifully. I feel like it's so easy and effortless, and this is what I'm reaching for on days that I'm wearing my powder foundation. I reach for this. On days that I'm going for more of like a cream look like I am today, I tend to reach for the Lisa Eldridge. I didn't really think when I first got it that I would like the highlight that comes along with this collection. This one's called Golden Nectar because it is a little dark for me. If you were to see it swatched on my skin, Here you can see it's a little bit darker, but when it hits the light, it's absolutely gorgeous. So what I do is I'll put the blush where I want it, then I'll take that same blush brush and balance between the highlight and the blush and go over kind of the top. I don't want it to be just highlight right here, but as I blend the blush and the highlight together, I get a gorgeous, seamless, amazing look. Have been really loving and reaching for these a lot this month. So when I'm not using the Pat McGrath highlight, I have been dedicated to two. The one that I'm wearing today is the one that I reach for a lot. Talked about this a ton before. I'm going to become a broken record. This is the Living Luminizer from RMS Beauty. I've had this before. I love this. If you look at it, it's got a couple of gouges in it where I just can't seem to stop reaching for it. Love this. It's the best. The other one that I have used so much, you can see where I'm at right here. I've already gone through at least a quarter, if not a little bit more of this container. This is the Elevated Glow from Lisa Eldridge. This is so pretty, so pretty. And it's one of those you can put down underneath your foundation. You can mix it in with your foundation. You can dab it over the top. It looks like glass skin, the best version of glass skin that you ever saw. The other thing that Lisa says is that if you put it down before any makeup on your cheeks, there is a little bit of a lifting property to this. I haven't noticed that it does that, but I still put it down before I put on any base products at all, concealer, corrector, foundation, whatever. That goes on first. I leave it down for 3 minutes and then I move on. And I don't know if it does anything or if it just makes me feel prettier, but she's so pretty, I love. I'm sure you saw this coming a mile away, but I've been in love with the Venetian Rose eyeshadow palette from M Cosmetics. This is the Divine Skies eyeshadow formula. I love it, love it, love it so much. I have used this almost exclusively as eyeshadow this month. Like on the days that I'm not filming, I'm wearing this. On the days that I'm filming, I'm forcing myself to reach for other things because this is my default. And I did tell you before that their other one in Magic Hour was kind of like my instant go-to. This is my new instant default. I love it so much. I feel like the colors are so flattering and so pretty, and the metallics are gorgeous. They're great because if you use them lightly, they're not too heavy. If you use them with more intensity and you're layering them up, you can get a really beautiful, darker look than I expected to get. Have been loving this. So since I have started using a brow serum, I feel like my brows are at the best place they've been since I was in my 20s. And because I have been using that brow serum, I don't have to every day use a brow pencil, a tinted brow gel, a brow marker, like all the things. I can use one thing. And one of the things that I have been super huge fan of, and I'm wearing today, is the Glossier Boy Brow. I've been reaching for this a lot this month. I feel like it gives me some pretty nice color and definition. There is some hold in there, but it's not a crunchy hairspray hold. If you're looking for a less expensive option, I feel like the Brow Obsessive from Wet n Wild is an excellent option to this. I wouldn't quite say it's a dupe. It's probably like an 85% dupe. I think this is a great product and I love it. I don't think it's as pigmented as the Glossier one. Another one from the drugstore that I have been loving is the e.l.f. Wow Brow. This one has some fibers in it and it does have a stronger tint. They all come with this slightly smaller wand, and I think that it's super easy to get really beautiful, bushy, but not high maintenance brows with products like these. Earlier this month, I did a 10 products I would repurchase if I lost my entire collection. And one thing that I pulled out was this. This is the sample size of the Mr. Big Lancome mascara. I do have a full size, but I have so many open mascaras right now. I didn't want to open a big tube of it, but I've been using this nonstop. This has been a favorite since it debuted, in 2017? I love this mascara. I've used it so much. The other mascara I have been loving a lot, and I'm glad I have a backup of, is the one from M Cosmetics. This is their Pick Me Up mascara. This is definitely a lighter weight. It's the one that I reach for on days when I'm not wearing any eye makeup and I just want a little bit of lash. I reach for this. It's also a tubing mascara, which means super easy to take off. You just get it wet and you grab your lashes and lightly pull and all of the mascara comes off, so it's super easy to remove. But volume and like a lot of look and really lightweight look where you want to make sure that it doesn't smudge or go anywhere, this is going to be the one. Down to just lip products. There's a few. I'm not surprised, but I'm slightly embarrassed. But let me show you the ones I've been reaching for the most. This is something that recently arrived from Beauty Pie. It came at the same time as that Hyaluronic Under Eye Serum. This is their Wonder Gloss Collagen Lip Oil, but this is in a limited edition shade for summer. I love this so much. This one is called Sun Hazed. I don't know what it is about this formula that keeps me coming back. This is the fourth shade of it that I have. It's the most repurchased gloss I think I've ever had. This is what it looks like. It's super glossy. It's very lightweight. It's super sheer on the lips. It looks like nearly nothing. It goes great over things, but I love it on its own on a no makeup day because it's just enough moisture, brings a little color to my lips, but it's not over the top. I've also been loving this lipstick from Beauty Pie. This is their Future lipstick in their matte formula. It's called Baby Beige. It goes beautiful underneath the gloss, but on days when I need just a little bit of color and not too much, or if I'm wearing a really bold eye look, I've been reaching for this. I don't get a ton of hours of wear out of it, maybe 4, but it's super easy to reapply. It's not like really hydrating, but it's also not drying. It feels like nearly nothing on the lips. I think it's a really pretty color. It's the only one in this formula that I have, but I'm pretty impressed. So if I'm going for a slightly rosier look, I have been loving this matte crayon from Beauty Pie. I forget the name of it. I'll put it in the description bar down below, but the shade is Caught Me, and it's definitely a little bit more, it looks a little orange here, but it's not. It's really like a warm pink. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's beautiful. It's matte, it goes on, it lasts really well. I wore this when I was at the hospital with my husband earlier this month and he was having surgery, so I had to wear a mask. And as I had this on, I was worried that it was gonna be clown mouth when I took my mask off. Never, never. So this stays where I put it. I did get a little bit of color transfer from my lips to the mask, but didn't end up like, you know, with like a big smudgy situation. It was really, really pretty. Another one, not surprised, Lisa Eldridge. This is my favorite from her new Luxuriously Lucent lipstick release. This one is called Spirited Away. So these guys here have a little bit more color. These guys are a little bit more nude. I'm loving that. If I want a red, and I've been wearing a lot of bright lips now that, you know, we're able to wear a lipstick more, I'm still head over heels for the Red Hot Red from Besame. This is the one from the Marilyn Monroe collection. You can get it in a limited edition packaging with the Swarovski crystals on it and Marilyn's signature right across the bottom of the packaging. Or if you want it in their traditional dome-shaped Besame packaging, they have that as well. But this red has been the perfect red when I want a punchy color and I'm wearing, you know, really beautiful glowy face makeup and a really like a similar eye today with real no eyeshadow, just a little bit of mascara and some heavy brows. This looks incredible. Another red that I've been loving, it's a perpetual favorite of mine. I love it so much. It's from YSL. It's their Rouge Volupté Shine. This is the shade Red Tuxedo, and it is a sheer red. It is super glossy if you build it up, which I am constantly doing. It looks absolutely gorgeous, but this is all I have left. That's it, because it doesn't twist up anymore. That's all there is. I've been using it so much this month. I went from having like almost half a tube to just this. I love it. It's hydrating, it's comfortable. It lasts for about 3 hours on my lips. It goes on really glossy, and in that first 90 minutes, you're gonna get the most gloss out of it. And then at about that 1.5, almost 2 hour mark, you still have some moisture on your lips and more of a color that's left behind, but it's not glossy like a lip gloss. And I have that color stay for at least 4 hours. It doesn't last as well if you're drinking from a coffee cup or a water bottle or a straw, or if you're eating food, you will need to reapply, but it's very hydrating, super comfortable, and I love that glossy, glossy red shine. I love it so much. So these are the lipsticks that I have been reaching for the most this month. I do have a couple of fails for this month, and I don't feel like they're necessarily bad products. They just don't fit well into my collection. One is from Makeup Revolution. It's their Conceal and Fix, and it's a concealer, but it's kind of supposed to be a corrector. And I have the lightest shade. I think it's called Light Beige. So the reason that I don't like this is it's remarkably heavy. Like you just barely dab it in there. You're getting a ton of coverage. And I tend, when I put this underneath my eye and then start tapping it out, the problem that I have is that it's so much that it ends up looking a little bit cakey under the eye. I can never get it to not look cakey. It's not like it's dry, it's just really thick. And I've tried to use it with a brush, I've tried to use it with a damp sponge, I've tried to use it with my finger, and it always makes my skin look a little bit older. This might be perfect for, you know, a blemish. This might be perfect for like darker hyperpigmentation spots, but this is not working to correct the darkness that I have under my eyes, and that's why I picked it up. So this is definitely not a favorite for me. And I might have the wrong shade, but I felt like it was definitely too light for under eye concealing. It almost made my dark circles look a little bit like it hit a lot of them, but there was like a little gray cast because I don't know. It just didn't work for me. I am sad to say that this new Power Move lipstick from Bite is definitely a fail for me. Now, I don't want you to think that it's a bad lipstick. It's not a bad lipstick. The reason it's a fail for me is the price. It's $28. The minute you're almost $30, I expect you to be pretty close to perfect. Now, I do have a lot of red lipsticks. Red is my favorite color. Wearing red today. Have a couple of the red favorites that I love, love, love so much. But the problem that I had with this is I love the color. This is called Hot Tomato. I love that it's matte right out of the bullet. It doesn't need any time to dry down. I love that. The problem I had with this is that I would apply it and it would look good for the first couple of hours. And it does mention that it's soft focus. So I think they're basically saying you're not gonna get a real crisp lip line. Okay, fine. I've tried it with and without a lip liner, but the problem I have is that the edge of my lips, especially without a lip liner, it doesn't just look like a blurred lipstick, it looks like a messy red. Now, I may not have that problem if I were to try a nude shade from this line or if I were to try a pink from this line, but I really, really have high standards for a red lipstick. The other thing they say is that it's lightweight. It does feel lightweight on the lips, but it also says that it's long wearing. I had problems with that because I felt like I got enough transfer onto straws, coffee cups, water bottles, forks, that I would lose that section in the middle. Okay, fine, that happens. But when I went to reapply, it didn't apply well over itself once I'd had it on for several hours and that center section had worn off. It started to get a little bunchy, a little almost crusty looking on the edges, and it said it was supposed to be hydrating. It has like cocoa butters and other things to help with hydration. My lips felt really dry, and there were parts where it was about to start peeling, and as I'm trying to put more on, not just to cover up the bare patch in the middle from where it has worn off throughout the day, but also to give myself a little bit of hydration, this color started kind of hanging on to those little craggly spots. Oh, I didn't love this lipstick. I wanted to love this lipstick. I have never ever had a bad experience with a Bite Beauty lip product. I've had their matte lip crayon before, which I loved. I had their liquid lipstick, which I loved. I had their Amuse Bouche formula, which I loved. And I've never really had something that didn't work for me. I loved their Agave lip sleeping mask before and after being reformulated. Like, I've tried so many things, their lip pencils, their glosses, I've loved them all. This is the first one where I was disappointed. Now, if you gave me this lipstick in different packaging from a different brand and gave it to me at like the $12 mark, I may not be so upset about it. But the fact that it's almost $30 and it didn't wear well and it dried my lips out and it was hard to reapply over the top of itself, it just needed a lot of hand holding, and I don't want that, especially not from a red lipstick. This one here from Bite, the formula is beautiful. It is matte. It does wear well. It reapplies beautifully over itself and it doesn't dry my lips out. And I think it's $22. I'm just saying, this didn't work for me, but the minute I realized how much I paid for it, I think it's gonna have to go back. Thank you so much for watching today. I would love to know what products you've been reaching for in July. It could be body care, hair care, makeup, skincare, any of that. Or if there's a favorite show or book that you've been doing, an activity you love, a hobby you've just been like diving headfirst into, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon.